Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Policy Committee meeting of November the 13th, 2024. I would like to acknowledge that we are privileged to meet on the unceded and ancestral territories of the Squamish and the St'át'imc Nations. Is there anyone who would like to make the agenda recommendation?
That the agenda of this meeting be approved.
Thank you, Lisa, and a seconder. Thank you, Melissa, and a set of minutes.
That the minutes of the Policy Committee meeting held on October 9th, 2024 be adopted.
Thank you, Lisa, and a seconder for that. Melissa, thank you very much. There are no trustee items nor presentations, which brings us down to item 5, information items, which is the policy review schedule, and I will turn that over to Danielle.
Thank you. There's actually no changes to the schedule right now from the last time we met. However, depending on our discussion later for the discussion, under discussion number 60, there might be an addition. So I'll just stay tuned for that one.
Okay. Okay, great. That brings us to our discussion items. And the first one is policy number 105, safe, orderly, and healthy schools and sites. And I'll turn that over to Superintendent Mr. Nicholson.
Hey, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Moving right along with our 100 level series, we have 2 policies to share with you, 105 and 106. Both policies, the first one was last adopted May 13th, 2020. So we're just in the schedule to review. And what I have done is you will see in your package, in keeping with attempts to make the policies more readable, better flow, some clarity, etc. I took the liberty of reorganizing the words to have titles, clear headings for each section to make it easier to navigate and understand the specific expectations and processes. In terms of the conduct expectations, where we list the complementing and supplementing policies, obviously included 107 and 108, anti-racism and accessibility, which were approved at the last meeting. And then made some housekeeping changes in some wording, again, hopefully for clarity. I think that providing those headings helps the public in understanding what overall policies are to ensure our expectations are that we have a safe, orderly, healthy schools. And just again added some enhancements in language. We added a new section, section 6, around the reporting and addressing of misconduct, which we didn't have before. And in keeping with other policies, we want to ensure the public has a clear sense of how we respond to concerns. I thought it important to have that as well. So again, generally, housekeeping changes for readability and flow, and then the addition of the reporting and addressing misconduct section.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. Are there any comments or questions, Lisa?
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Chris. Section 5, not section 6, but section 5, I love how we've added that now to let people know what to do when they have witnessed this stuff. So thank you very much for adding that. I didn't have any concerns with the rest of the policy the way that it was written. So thank you very much.
Okay, great. And Celeste, go ahead.
Hi. So I thought it was beautifully written, beautifully revised, and I have no feedback at all whatsoever, which you might be relieved to hear, Chris. So well done.
Yeah, no, I thank you for that. I always appreciate your comments. They're always insightful and appreciate them. So thank you.
Great. All right. Any other comments or questions, concerns? All right, seeing none. We will move this policy discussion into our open meeting. And at that point, we can make a motion to approve or not approve. And if there's any additional conversation, anything else that comes up, we can address it at that time.
I think we do need a motion out. It's ready to forward to.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yes, but for right now, thank you, Danielle. We do need a motion to bring that forward to our open board meeting.
Or we can wait.
Okay, and we'll do that together with 106. Thank you. All right, so with that, let's move to motion number 106, navigating district concerns. And Superintendent Nicholson, that's you once again.
Okay, so again, I appreciate the work that was done 5 years ago in March in 2019 on this policy. And like 105, again, I saw the necessity to, again, for clarity and flow, ensure that there were clear headings. So again, mainly housekeeping for clarity and flow. I think it's very, again, if this is for the public, I think we have to be as clear as possible. I look forward to investments to other policies as we go. I think I will also share that some of the wordiness, I also changed. I felt, for example, that we had a lot of statements around if a satisfactory resolution is not achieved, which seems a little bold and clinical and might have some readability issues for some of our folks. So in the spirit of accessibility, just simplified it to, in the event that it's a little bit clearer. What else? I think I would share again that in the accompanying flow chart, the order in which you read it from left to right doesn't coincide with the numbering of the concerns that we outline in 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I just reordered 4 and 5 to again more coincide with the flow chart, so that it's parallel. So again, hoping that there's a little more clarity of language, so that the user experience is a little simpler, a little friendlier when navigating the resolution process.
Sure. All right, are there any comments? Yeah, Celeste, go ahead.
Yeah. So well done as well on this one. I just had a couple of comments which I'll email to you because it's so much easier to see. The first was in 1.1. So my suggestion is to remove the word sincere and just say that the board expects that there will be an effort to informally resolve concerns, full stop. So remove the word sincere and then add their source, please, for your contemplation. And the second suggestion was in 1.2 to remove the word informal, so that it would read, complainants are welcome to bring an advocate for support during the process. Just hit send on to you and Danielle, and those are the only things that stood out as maybe, you know, sincere. Like, what does that mean? It's so subjective. And then bringing an advocate, like what does an informal advocate mean? If they want to bring a support person, they can bring whatever. So that's it.
I have no issue with those. I think those were level open before, and I think for clarity again, I think that helps. Why you support versus language if you don't need to. Thank you, Celeste.
Sure. Okay. And Lisa, did I see your hand up?
Yeah, I just had one question of clarification, and I might just have misheard, Chris. So 4.12, I thought you said wordsmithing for if a satisfactory resolution is not achieved, but it says if a satisfactory resolution is not achieved. So I just wanted to clarify that is the wording we're using.
Oh, thank you. Yes. when
Okay.
I was doing the editing, I mis-edited. You are
Okay.
correct.
Okay, I just
Thank
wanted,
you.
I just like, I think I'm reading what? So, okay, thank you so much.
Well done.
I agreed with Celeste changes as well. I had those on there too, and I think it reads great and I love how it coincided with the flow chart. So it was a lot easier just to follow on both. So thank you.
My apologies for that error. None of us got that. Let me share it with staff. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, let's move on to policy 210, trustee remuneration, and that's Danielle.
Okay, so the reason why this is on the agenda is it was mentioned to me a number of times over the last year. By a number of trustees, that if it's possible for us to do a review on how trustees are compensated. And also it was mentioned that maybe we should look at having a base trustee rate where we reimburse our mileage to board meetings. So I just wanted to say that the board approves changes to trustee compensation every year at the December board meeting, so we're in November now. And changes to trustee compensation come into effect every January. And so I wanted to know if this is something that the board would like to look into and change. Because if so, it would have to do it like right, I have to start looking at it right now. And I just also wanted to mention that policy 210, trustee remuneration, is not scheduled to be reviewed until 2026-2027 school year. So I wanted just to have an open discussion here to see if that's something that the trustees would like me to look into and start working on. And if we want to bring this policy forward in the review schedule. And if so, then we'll probably need the motion and start working on that. So, what is everyone's thoughts?
Sure. Are there is there anyone who would like to start this conversation?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
So I wouldn't mind, and I wouldn't mind having a review of it just because I'm not 100% sure how every other board is compensated and paid, and given our vast terrain, mileage, etc. And I'd like to make sure that we're doing things as fiscally prudent for the district as we're looking to tighten fiscal expenditures, just making sure that we too are under that microscope as well. Just my personal bias, because I've not been involved in a review of it. I just see an increase and I'm like, oh, okay. So I wouldn't mind start the conversation if staff have the time to put those resources together.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. And April, I saw your hand.
I think it's not as long. Good. Okay. I don't know. I'm with Lisa a little bit. I don't know exactly how everybody is remunerated, but I do believe that the trustees who are having to travel get that built into their monthly rate. Currently correct. So I believe that we're now in a situation where we often have trustees zooming in, which doesn't require mileage. So therefore they're being remunerated, or whatever that word is. I always struggle with that word, for something that's not happening. So I think that it's more fiscally responsible, in Lisa's words, if we actually reimburse for what actually happens. So I hope that that's kind of clear. Thanks.
Thank you, April. Celeste, go ahead, please.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that the policy was created, or like the structure that we have in place was created when joining online, it wasn't an option for people. They had to come into place. I would bet that whatever remuneration is built in for the people that have to travel probably doesn't even adequately cover the costs, given the cost of maintaining a vehicle and gas and all of that. And my personal opinion is that if you are prepared to come to a meeting and to share your thoughts and contemplate the decisions that we have to make, yes, it is nice to be together in person sometimes, but you know, I have a sick child here this morning, and so I'm still, you know, I prepared for the meeting. I'm still able to do my job, and I think that there is nothing wrong with joining virtually from time to time, especially when life makes it necessary to do so. So if the proposal is to have everybody remunerated the same for the service that we do as trustees, and then when travel is required, to submit at the appropriate mileage rates, which are updated every year to account for the rising cost of fuel and all of those things, I think that that is perfectly reasonable and would support opening up not a protracted discussion about it, you know, because I recognize that it takes time and we do have a policy review schedule for a reason. But like this would just be modernizing things. This is how we do business now. We do business online sometimes, and actually that is okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. Any other comments? All right. I think moving forward, we would have to ask Danielle to do a little bit of work on that and then let us know all of the ins and outs.
Everybody wants to go ahead. Let's get a motion.
Okay, true. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so, and then we would wait to hear all of the ins and outs before we made any kind of a decision on what we were going to do. But we do need a motion.
M-
You asked Danielle to move forward with that work. April, are you prepared to make that motion?
No, I can.
Sorry, Lisa.
Okay,
Okay.
Sorry, I just
Okay.
had a clarification question. Could we ask, just given timelines and everything else that's on Danielle's plate, could we ask that the work start and the review schedule be increased to 2025-26 school year? And then the legwork you can, is that?
Man, so thank you, but there's no need to do that yet because the initial request, the motion is just to have staff look into it. And if staff comes back at the next meeting to say that we require more time, then we'll put that ask forward because there is no motion at this point in time to have it ready for next board meeting. My understanding is it's just for staff to start to look into it. And so we'll be able to provide hopefully a suggested timeline for the board to agree to. But I appreciate the support.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
and April, did you have another comment?
No, I was just going to make the motion, but I was going to ask for some help in the wording. But I know you can't make it, right? I have to make, one of us has to make it. Oh, you're the best, Archie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, come again?
She's gonna put something together, but if you
Okay.
want to adjust it. just think
Okay.
about it.
Thanks, Archie. I'm sure it'll be great.
Actually, I don't want it to say that. Proceed with the review of just say trust. Don't say the policy. It might not end up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Okay. If you're comfortable with that motion,
That the policy committee authorizes staff to proceed with the review of trustee remuneration.
Second.
That word.
okay, thank you, Lisa. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, thank you. That would mean there are none opposed, so that is passed, and Danielle, thank you very much for offering to take a look into that. So we now have one action item related to the policies that we discussed earlier. Is there anyone prepared to make that motion?
That the policy committee recommend the Board of Education approves amended policy 105 safe, orderly, and healthy schools and sites, and policy 106 navigating district concerns with challenges as discussed.
Changes, but we got you. Is there someone who would like to second that motion? We're looking for a seconder. Oh, thank you very much, Rachel. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 6, 7, great, thank you. So, and that would be none opposed, so that's also passed. Thank you so much. We're moving on to any questions of clarification from the public. All right, seeing no questions from the public and seeing that we have concluded all of the business of this meeting, I will call this meeting adjourned. We will meet you all back on the next meeting shortly.